Hey there. Welcome to another live stream, another BetterSax live stream where we're going to give away some stuff and then we're going to do a live Q&A. So think of any questions you've got. I've got a special guest, surprise guest. I'll tell you about them coming on in a few minutes. And for those of you tuning in, go ahead and let us know where you're tuning in from. This is a very international competition. You'll see from the winners. So I'd love to know where you guys are. And oh yeah, so we have Max. Max, look, we've got already up a that's the wrong one. This one. We've got Max, who's already won. Max won the burning mouthpiece, the BetterSax burning alto mouthpiece. Today we're giving away these SYOS mouthpieces. These the new SYOS Originals. Let's see if we can get that to focus. Will you focus? If I hide my face. Yes. There's the steady tenor. Anyway, you guys have all probably watched my video on that up on YouTube from last week. And we're also giving away the latest BetterSax course. Latest BetterSax course, we're giving away lifetime access to that and a physical copy of the book. So we started doing this with the Eric Alexander course earlier this year, made a physical copy of that book. I loved how that came out. I love having physical books to read because the screens that kill your eyes, you know, and this is great because you can put notes in it. And it's a little bit, I guess it's old school now. Like a physical book is old school, but so yeah. Let's see who we've got here. We've got Kirk from London. I was in London the day before yesterday. Many of you may have seen, if you follow me on Instagram, I was at sax.co.uk. Great shop, great bunch of people over there. So shout out to sax.co.uk. And I've got a video. I made a quick video that I'm going to publish on YouTube in a few hours after this live stream. And it's me in the shop trying out a few horns. So it's a little fun, quick video. And I've got more news from sax.co.uk that I'll tell you about later on. Sal. Hey, Sal. How are you doing? Okay. So my alto is on its way. Yeah. So a little inside information for you BetterSax fans is that as of last night, you can order a BetterSax alto. So we have a limited stock in. It just came in. Well, they're ready to be shipped out. Here's my BetterSax alto. I've been playing this one every day for about a year now. It plays great. I'm loving it. It's my main alto. And it's been tough getting these horns in because of the global health crisis, making shipping, and it's just been a bit of a nightmare with all that. Anyway, if you've been waiting to get one of these, if you were on the waiting list, you would have gotten an email yesterday. Check your inbox. It's got a link to where you can put your order in. And then once everyone on the wait list had a chance to order, if there's any left over, we're going to open that up to everyone else. Okay, but you guys are kind of insiders, so I'm letting you know. Wow, we've got TT from France. We've got Wyatt from Ghana. Hello, Wyatt. You're a Denver Broncos fan. We got Stevie from Norway. We've got Daniel from Calgary. We've got Alexis from Belgium. Christian is asking me if I bought the Summer Supreme. I didn't buy it. No, I literally had like 5 minutes to try it. So I didn't really, I didn't have enough time to spend with it. We've got Eduardo from Brazil. We've got Wayne from Yorkshire. We've got Albert from Nigeria. Augustus from South Carolina. Daniel up early in California. Welcome. Abby Sax from Florida. Kayo from Poland. Wow, you guys are from everywhere. Okay. And Will from Long Island. I'm a Long Islander. We've got Neville from Puerto Rico. Nathaniel from Saudi Arabia. Mateus from Portugal. Great. Wow, we got lots from Portugal. 3 people from Portugal in a row. Okay, I missed it. All right. Glad so many of you guys are tuning in. How about we announce some winners? Let's just jump right into it. The first winners we're going to announce are the 3 who are getting lifetime access to the new course, Essential Jazz Repertoire Volume 1, by my friend Steve Cortega, who happens to be, I'm sure you're not too surprised, our special guest, surprise guest, who's going to come on. And Steve is a great saxophone player. He's in LA, like recording something now with something fun, some fun touring musician thing. And also, you may not be aware, but Steve is also teaching in the, why do I keep going out of focus? Steve also teaches in the BetterSax studio, which is a fantastic program. You can ask some questions about that later if you don't know about it, but that's where we're studying jazz standards, and members of the community get to upload videos of themselves playing or recordings of themselves playing the different assignments for the month and get personalized feedback from myself and Steve. It's been a wonderful program, and we've seen huge amounts of progress from so many people involved, and everyone's just been enjoying it so much. So let's bring on Steve Cortega.
Hey,
Welcome, Steve.
What's up, man?
Hey, man. So you're in LA.
Yes, I am.
Are you on a secret mission? What are you doing over there?
Yeah, it's semi-secret. I can't divulge too much, but there's going to be some things that are coming out next month with the band that I play with, Brian Newman, and our boss, Lady Gaga. So we're working on some of that stuff. Really cool.
Yeah. Cool, man. So, hey, very quickly, tell us. I'm going to have you announce the winners. They'll be on the screen, so you just have to read them.
Sure.
But the winners of your new course, which is in collaboration with BetterSax, quickly tell us about this. And
yeah, so when working with students over the years, I've found that etudes are a really helpful way to get them to do the things that I want them to do a lot of times. So in these etudes, I just wrote lines that I really like the way that they fill out chord progressions. And I think it's, I'm really happy with the way everything came out. With the course wise, I've never done a video course before, but I think this is some of my best material that's available. So not only do you get to learn the etudes, but you get to learn a lot of jazz information, jazz improv information, and just how to become a better improviser is all a part of this package.
Yeah, so I'm sure many of you watching probably already have this one, but in case you don't, check it out. There's a link in the description to the course, but if you use the code, that's not the right code. That's not the right thing. What is that code? I'm going to put it up in a minute while you're while you're taking the question. I'm going to give you the code. There's a coupon code to save 25% on that.
Right.
Let's jump in and announce some winners. So sixth place is getting lifetime access to Essential Jazz Repertoire Volume 1 and the physical copy of the book. So go ahead, Steve.
All right, we've got Michael Kabzon from Jerusalem, Israel, in 6th place. Congratulations. Yeah.
Congratulations, Michael. I don't think I've had a winner from Israel before. So,
nice.
Yeah, we're very, it's the last few competitions have been extremely international. So I don't want to give too much information, but we're really all over the map here.
Yeah.
Okay. Next. Go ahead.
All right. So from Athens, Greece, we have, I'm going to probably say this wrong, but Phivos Kotaris.
That sounded pretty good, man. It sounded, your Greek accent is pretty good.
Thanks, man.
I'm going to give you like a 6 out of 10 on that.
Hey, that's way better than I thought I was going to do.
And yeah, so Athens, Greece. So those are 2 Mediterranean winners. So that's a good thing.
Nice.
All right. And one more, and then I'm going to get you guys this coupon code. One more winner. Then I'm going to put this coupon code and get the right one. So 4th place coming up here. This is going to be tricky for you to pronounce. Just get ready.
Got a feeling. Okay, so from Zaandam, Netherlands, we have SYOS Pepping, or is it? They say George. Is that how they say it?
Well, yeah, it's like a George. That's like their version of George. So that's SYOS Pepping.
SYOS Pepping. Congratulations, man. Very cool.
Yeah. So congratulations to all of you cats who got the new course. Now we're going to go on to these SYOS mouthpieces. Now, Steve, you are a SYOS artist, aren't you?
Yes.
Why don't you tell have you tried any of these new ones?
I did. I just got the alto ones right before I left for LA, so I haven't had a chance to play on those. But I like them in some respects more than my artist piece. I'm a little conflicted. Yeah. I tried them next to my my SK Steve Cortega artist model, which I love. And there's some really cool things that they've done. I've never been a huge fan of the step baffle, but I really like that smoky one. And even the white one is called, what's it? Do you remember the name of that one? There's Spark, Smoky, and the third one is like Steady. Yeah. So I think the Steady and the Smoky one, I could see making that, something I use in the future. But they streamlined. I feel like they took, the best qualities of all the artist pieces and then made them into like this thing that is usable for a wide variety of people rather than just, one particular artist. Yeah. So it's kind of cool what they did.
And you tried them on tenor or alto?
I tried them on tenor because they sent 8 tip openings on tenor and I play a 9. So that was close to what I'm used to.
Yeah, they're all kind of, I find them all to be a bit on the bright side. Even the smoky one is, I don't know what they're smoking, but it's a little bit bright.
Yeah.
My only criticism I would say it would be nice if the darkest one was a little bit darker, but they are probably basing these pieces on the tons of data that they have from having sold so many mouthpieces and just what people like and from customizing users' mouthpieces. So I'm assuming that they didn't tell me that, but I would assume that after selling so many mouthpieces, they would now be like, now we know what people really want. And that's this. Right. So let's just make like 3 kind of versions of this and 3 tip openings and make everybody happy.
Totally. And I've never been a fan of the step baffle stuff, but I could see that step baffle being something that works for a lot of cats that like that too.
Yeah, it's interesting with these. I don't know how they get away with it. Well, it's not that extreme, the step baffle on these. This is the Spark that I have here. I have to hide my face for it to focus on that there. It's not too extreme, but they kind of balance it out with these rounded out sidewalls. Anyway, let's announce some winners because that's what everyone is here for. And then after we announce these winners, if you guys have some questions, throw them in the comments and we will answer the ones we feel like answering, the interesting ones. If you have any questions about like saxophone or improvising or whatever. let it go. Okay, so I'm going to announce these ones. Let's see. So third place winner, our third place winner, yet another country. So far, we've had Israel, Greece, the Netherlands. We've got Kenneth Matthews? Yeah, Kenneth Matthews from Houston, Texas. Congratulations, Kenneth. Kenneth, you're going to have the choice of any one of these SYOS originals. So that's the Smoky, the Steady, or the Spark. Choice of tip opening, choice of color, and choice of saxophone, because they make them for alto, tenor, soprano, and baritone. So, like, you got some thinking to do. What horn do you need a mouthpiece for? I mean, it's a great prize. These are great prizes. Because like you could be like, I need a Barry mouthpiece. Maybe your alto and tenor is whatever sorted out, but you need a Barry or a soprano. And this is somewhere where I find the SYOS mouthpieces, they're really good, and alto and tenor, they're good. But I think it's for soprano and baritone, it's really good for people, especially who don't play those instruments that much, because you can get one of these SYOS mouthpieces and you're just like off and running straight away.
Yep.
And not all mouthpiece makers like excel at the soprano and Barry mouthpieces.
I mean, some of them don't even make soprano or Barry mouthpieces. Yeah.
No, why? Because they don't sell so many of those. So they focus their energy on ones that sell the most, obviously. Right. But SYOS has, kind of figured it out with this technology where they can kind of make things bigger and smaller. Normally, that's really hard to do. You don't just take a tenor mouthpiece and make it bigger and it's a Barry mouthpiece. It doesn't work that way. There is a lot of other things that happen. So they've sort of figured something out to be able to get things to play in tune and respond well. So
yeah.
I'm going to have to get them to divulge their secrets. I'm going to go up there to Paris and try to find out the secrets.
Yeah.
Okay, so congratulations, Kenneth. We got 2 more winners. Now, the next winner is near me. Another Mediterranean. This is going to be our 3rd Mediterranean winner in a contest. And from Montpellier in France, Montpellier, which is not far from me, we've got Thibaut Martinez. Congratulations. Félicitations, Thibaut. You have won a SYOS Originals mouthpiece. SYOS is going to save on the shipping because they're located in France as well. You get your choice. Hey, Steve, Beck? Sorry, I gave you the answer. Beck is the word for mouthpiece in French. Beck.
That's why Pauline's always calling it the beak of the. I've never heard anybody say that before, but it does. I mean, it looks like a beak. But,
and you're always like, wait, what is she talking? Why is she calling it a beak?
No, I thought it was cool. I just was like, I wonder where that comes from. But I'm so glad you were saying this Thibaut's name, because I would have definitely got that wrong.
Oh yeah, you would have massacred that, I'm sure.
That would have been bad. It's a cool, very cool name.
It's cool. That's one of those words. That's like that. I feel bad for someone with a name like that, and then they go to the UK or to America, and like people are just going to be massacring their name. But the French have a very hard time with Anglophone names, though. So most Anglophone names just get massacred over here, really bad. But they don't care. They just say it the way it would be said in French, and that's it. And that's your name now. They make no effort. Okay. So congratulations, Thibaut. We got our last one. Okay, last winner. And then we got some Q&A, live Q&A with Steve Cortega in LA. So last winner from the UK, where I was in the UK day before yesterday. Has anyone been traveling in this COVID nightmare? I traveled for the first time 2 days ago. I went to London. They didn't want to let me come home. They looked at my papers, my vaccine papers, and they're like, nah, this isn't good. And they're just like, nah, you can't go home. You got to stay here. And I'm like, wait a second. Honestly, if I wasn't vaccinated, why would you want to keep me in your country? First, that's number one.
Yeah.
And anyway, it was the height of absurdity.
Yeah.
So I'm a little upset with the UK for that, but I did go home. And you know how I got home? Because I was flying British Airways, and there was and it was 2 minutes before they were going to close the check-in and not allow me to go through. And it was the last flight of the day from Heathrow. So I would have been, sleeping in London again. And this Italian supervisor came by and saw what was going on. She came over and she looked and she said, I don't know, but that's how we do it. Let him go. and she just like overruled everybody and said, let me go. Cause Mediterranean, see the Mediterranean people, they came to my rescue.
He knew.
So anyway.
Yeah, man. I've been traveling, but only, in the States, and it hasn't been horrible. Everybody's been, playing by the rules, but I've seen some crazy stuff online and some passengers acting out and stuff like that. But I can't imagine going anywhere outside of one country,
Yeah, because it gets complicated because nobody knows how to read each other's papers, and then they have airline employees are the gatekeepers. They're the ones like checking people's papers, and that's like not so that gets complicated. Anyway, let's announce his last winner. So congratulations to Philip Yip from Swansea in the UK. That's in Wales, actually. So congratulations. Wales is, it's not England, it's a different place. They would have, I'm sure if I was leaving from Wales, they would have let me out, no problem. Anyway, congratulations to all our winners. You're going to get an email in the next day or two from us with, asking you for your shipping information and what you want, your choice. And also for those who won the course, we're going to get you the course, the online version, but also we're going to get you, we need your address so we can send you the book. And the book is very nice. Did you get your copy of the book, Steve?
I did. I posted on my story about it, but I forgot to bring it with me to this LA journey, but I'm definitely gonna post about it soon. But yeah, I got the copy. It looks amazing. It looks better than pretty much all the books I already own. So
yeah. So I'm happy with that. All right, let's see if we got any cool questions. Oh, somebody says that you look exhausted and tired. Well, listen, Steve had to get up early. Okay, give him a break. He had to get up very early. It's like 7 a.m. in LA. Right
this is the magic, though, of good lighting, because I feel like the lighting isn't doing me any favors. This is just like, it almost looks like I have like a sleepy filter on my face from the lighting. But I'm actually not that bad because like it's really 10 o'clock, New York time. So I kind of slept in, if anything. But no, Yes, I might look a little tired.
You look good. That's
This is rest. This is normal. This is like my normal face.
Yeah. But it's not fair because I got all my lights and it's like middle of the afternoon for me. It's not really fair.
Yeah.
Okay. And Michael's saying, please recap the winners. Well, you know what we're going to do? I'm going to put them. You didn't win, Michael. Sorry. But but they'll be posted on, I can do that right now. If you go to the contest page, check it out. If you go to the contest page now, you will see all the winners. And I will even, where's the contest page? Oh, I can't remember where it is, but you can get it in the link, I think, in this description. In the description below, there's the contest page. And there's a list of all the winners. So there you go. Done. Okay, this is something people ask every time. How do you choose? Oh, I thought they were going to say, how do you choose the winners? People always ask me how they choose the winners. Like because it's people that don't win, they often think that it's a scam. Like, I didn't win. So there must be something fishy going on. But see, this competition there was like over 1,000 individual people in it. So, your chances of winning were, less than 1% or whatever. So just keep trying. I wish I could give a free mouthpiece to everybody, maybe one day. So let's check out this from Javier, this question: how do you choose which repertoire exercises to begin for the long run and which to let go or just practice now and then? Well, let's let Steve answer this question.
Yeah, I mean, there's I just keep a list of things that I can't play, and then I'll make a note of those, either in my head or make an actual physical list of them. And then, I don't get crazy if I can't play it and figure it out in 1 or 2 days, then I'll just return to it from time to time. And, there's things even now that I'm practicing, like concepts that maybe they take a couple months to get down, or they take a year or something like that. So I think the trick is to remember them, and it's just it's a way of getting to know your limitations as a musician better. So like, you play the ones that are fun. You can do those as many times as you want, and make a list of those too. Maybe the ones that make you feel good and the ones you like the way they sound when you play them. But that's the ones I keep for a long run. The long run are the ones that are difficult for me, just because I know they're going to make me better as a musician.
Yeah, good answer. Stay at it. Like, always try to stay out of your comfort zone a little bit. If you play the ones that are fun, that you're really good at all the time, it's fun, but you probably won't improve as much as if you spend time on the ones that kick your butt.
Right.
Let's see. Question. Okay, this is a fair question. How do the SYOS mouthpieces compare in terms of projection to something like an Auto-Link hard rubber tone edge? Well, in terms of projection, they're pretty much gonna blow the Auto-Link tone edge out of the water. Almost every model of the SYOS, I would say, projects more than a typical Auto-Link hard rubber tone edge. Wouldn't you agree, Steve?
Yeah, I've been impressed by the projection just in general compared to a lot of other pieces. I don't know what it is that they're doing exactly. You could probably answer this better, but that was what got me to switch to SYOS in the first place and be interested in becoming an artist, is that I was just getting more decibels of volume out of their mouthpieces. But yeah, what do you think about that? Like, why do they project?
Well, there's a lot of reasons, but and in some of them, and there's some things that I'm still not sure about why, but the Auto-Link tone edge hard rubber mouthpieces are stuffy and dark and not a good choice if you want to project. And there are people like someone like Bob Reynolds who plays on that who managed to project, but he's like, he's breaking the laws of physics. When he's doing, he must be.
Yeah.
Because I find them to be mouthpieces that you have to work quite hard on. There's some old ones that were handmade and are good, and there's ones that people have refaced. I've got one that I've had refaced, and it's a lot better, but it's still, you can only do so much with a good refacing. You can't make a bad mouthpiece a good mouthpiece.
Mm-hmm.
You can make a good mouthpiece better, and you can make a bad mouthpiece a little bit better, but you can't completely transform not the best design. So if you're talking about the modern tone edge, they're not projecting mouthpieces. If you want to have a really smoky, dark, not very loud sound, that's a good choice. Some people want that.
Yeah.
It's not bad. I like the mouth. I like my Auto-Link tone edge, but it's not. Compared to this one, it's supposed to be a dark, this smoky one. This is double the volume, of that with half the amount of air.
It sounded great on those etude examples too. I was digging your tone, I think.
Yeah, and I didn't have to spend a lot of time with these mouthpieces, all of them. I just kind of slapped a reed on them and played them all. And that's one of the things. And when she sent them to me first and was like, what do you think? And I was like, oh yeah, let me check them out. And right away I was like, all right, these are good. I'll do a video with these. It was right away. Even though I don't love any of them enough that I'm going to be like playing on them regularly. They're good. It's just no question they're good.
Yeah.
And a lot of people will find them good, enjoyable to play on. Okay, here's a very important question. Very important question. When will your BetterSax alto sax be available? It's available now. insider information. It's available now. If you go to bettersax.com, you can order one right now while supplies last. I hope we have enough so everyone will be able to get one. So if you want one, now's the time. If you are outside of the United States, you're going to have to wait another month or so, but that's coming very soon to international orders for the BetterSax Alto. So, this is a very good question from Owen. How much time does it take to master the saxophone?
Whew.
Now, whoever you are, you'll never feel like you've mastered it.
Great.
So we might say Chris Potter has mastered the saxophone, but if you asked him, he'd probably say, "What are you talking about? I'm still working on it." So
yeah, I mean, the musical director here, we were talking in rehearsal yesterday about. He said he used to hang out at Herbie Hancock's house when they were rehearsing with the super group that Herbie put together, and he said Michael Brecker would be over there talking about how he still needs to practice, how he needs to get better, how he still doesn't have it all together yet. It's just like Michael Brecker just changed the perception of the saxophone, and that guy still thinks that he couldn't play or whatever.
Right.
So I don't know. Generic answer is probably you'll never feel like you mastered it, but I've heard like 10,000 hours is what it takes.
But that's been debunked. Haven't you heard? The
No.
10,000 hour thing has been debunked completely.
That it'll take longer or less time, or just depending on the quality.
It depends. Well, yeah, both. It depends on what you do.
Yeah.
Because there are some people that have mastered things in less than the 10,000 hours. There's some people that have put in 20,000 hours and still are struggling, because it really matters how you spend those hours. You can't, there is really efficient ways to spend your practice time and really inefficient ways to spend your practice time.
Sure.
As and we've all, part of the learning process is getting rid of those inefficient ways, like recognizing things you do that aren't helping you. Stop doing those things and find some more efficient ways to do it. So, yeah, it takes, but my answer to that is like, it's your life. It takes your lifetime to master something, and, and our life is finite. So, we never really reach that goal, but it's all about the journey.
Yeah.
Okay. This is a interesting question. People ask me this thing. All right, this is something to debunk. Our cannonballs don't last very long. Is that true? No. There's no sax. I mean, I don't know who is putting this information out, where people are hearing this from. Saxophones will last literally forever. The only saxophones and anything can be fixed, but there are some instruments that get played just unreal hours. Think of players who play 6 hours a day, every day for 20 years. If you play your horn 6 hours a day, every day for 20 years, then you might need to start thinking about replacing it, because there might be some wear on the metal that it's just too much of a pain to repair. That's the only scenario where it's like, you know what I mean? Everything else on the saxophone, it lasts. Yeah, you may need to replace some pads, but if you take care of your pads and swab out your horn, look, here's some swabs. I sell these on BetterSax.com. If you'd use these every time you play, your saxophone is pretty much going to last forever. Your pads.
Yeah. The pads last long. I have seen people talk about, and I think you even had this happen on one of your videos, but when you get a horn and the pads just fall out, because they use like not expensive glue or whatever. Is there a company that's been notorious for like not?
I've never had that happen, even on the cheapest saxophones. Yeah, I mean, that can happen. A pad could fall out. Okay.
Yeah.
You get a new pad put in,
right.
But that's something that's so rare, and that's not going to happen on any cannonball. If Cannonball sold you an instrument and a pad fell out, they would replace it for you for free. They would be like, "Oh, we're sorry. That's not supposed to happen," and they would fix it. So, I mean, it's, no, and it's funny because I got this video coming out later when I was at sax.co.uk the other day. I tried out some saxophones. One of them was a Cannonball. So there's these myths about certain brands. I mean, and the source of this information, where is it coming from? Who made that up? They don't last that long. The company's only been around for 20 years. How could you even know? You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Anyway.
Well, if you look at Dylan's picture, it looks like he might not have been around for 20 years yet either. So
no, but I get, this is a question, but that could be, that could be Dylan's son too. And this is a question I get from young people and people that are much older than me. I get similar questions all the time. So that's why I'm kind of addressing that for everyone.
Yeah.
They're really, you're not going to find a saxophone that they don't fall apart. They're not, and first of all, they're not there's not any electronics. It's not like an iPhone where the battery goes dead and then the software stops updating them. It doesn't work that way. It's a saxophone. Okay. Is this a question here? I caught the end of your discussion about barrier mouthpieces and how different they are, not just a blown up tenor mouthpiece. Can you talk about what the challenges are for making good barrier gear? Wow. That would be a very in-depth discussion, and it would kind of go beyond my expertise. I just know that it's not as simple. Just like a tenor is not just a larger alto. A tenor mouthpiece is not just a larger alto mouthpiece. There's a lot of variables. It's not just size, and everything is not just slightly bigger and equally bigger in all different spots. So there is a lot of things that go into it. And this is, acoustic stuff. And this is about instrument design, and the people that do have the answers to that, they don't share that information very much either, because they're all paranoid. It's going to be stolen and then end up on Alibaba or something.
Yeah.
Too late. It's already happened. Okay. Is this a question that this is the woodwinds. What is that? West Coast woodwinds, or what is it? WCW.
I think that's a TON.
Windy City woodwinds 56. SYOS and Jody Jazz are all mouthpieces I own. Have you guys played? No, I have not played the Windy City Winds 56. I haven't played it.
I haven't either.
Theo should send me one. I'll play it, and I'll tell you guys what I think if he does. Kirk says, I'm using the Etudes in conjunction with the BetterSax studio courses in support of developing improvisation skills. Should I also take the Etude through 12 keys? Whoa. Go ahead, Steve. You answer this one.
I mean, anything through 12 keys is an amazing exercise. The thing that I always, ran into when I was practicing even is that by the fourth or fifth key, you can get pretty frustrating or kind of, you get tired of it. Yeah. So I always recommend try to do it in a key, a half step above or a half step below, or just one other key, because if you bought the book, you're going to have it already in 3 different keys. So maybe just read the C version or read the E flat version, or just depending on what instrument you're playing. That would be a great exercise. But yeah, I mean, if you want to try doing other keys, that's definitely going to help you play. The magic there is thinking of the chords too that you're playing over in these other keys. Don't just read the notes or think of the notes in those keys, but also think of the chord change that goes with that line, because that's going to be really helpful.
Yeah, and I would add to that, you don't have to do the whole etude. Take one spot, and your etudes are very you're focused on lines and motivic. So take one of those ideas, one of those motives in one of the etudes, and just take that through all 12 keys. That'll be a lot easier, and it won't take hours.
Yeah,
and probably you get more use out of that, because that's a little snippet that you can then kind of use all over the place.
Yeah, good call.
Okay, good question from Brian and let's direct this to Steve. What is your favorite sounding scale to use when improvising?
Nice. Mixolydian sharp 11, man, all day. That's
incidentally, this is not set up. Incidentally, is what we're studying in the BetterSax studio this month. We're studying, we're looking at take the A train. And in it, take the A train in this, and I even made a little Instagram post about this the other day. Take the A train and Girl from Ipanema. In the 3rd and 4th measure, you've got 2 dominant 7 chord with a sharp 11. And that's a chord where you'd play that, Mixolydian sharp 11 or Lydian dominant scale, which is derived from your melodic minor scale, if you want to get crazy in your music theory. But it's a mode of melodic minor, jazz melodic minor. Okay, everybody's like, clicking away, like, stop, get out of the live stream.
Yeah, TMI, Jay, TMI.
Too much information.
Yeah, no, but with that scale, I find myself using that over a lot of other things. Like, it's just, if you practice playing over that particular sound, it works over a lot of other contexts. You have to do a little, mental gymnastics to get to how it works over those other chords, but it's very applicable to almost everything else. So that's definitely, the one I always just kind of revert to, just when I go to practice a particular sound or whatever. I always just end up messing around with that particular sound. So
nice.
So what's your favorite sounding scale, Jay?
Man, I can't just like answer that straight away for you, but yeah, I mean, it's always, I think the fun part is always like on dominant chord, something that has more tension in it, because nobody ever said, well, actually some people might just say major scale. I think I asked this question in one of my live streams with somebody, and they answered major scale, which, I mean, that's what we're using on. That's just, it's everywhere.
It's all around us.
But like, I look at it, depends on how you think of scales, because if you're saying Lydian dominant, that's also, like I said, melodic minor. It can also be thought of as like your super Locrian, if you take the 7th mode, and so it's like, that's that same collection of notes.
Yeah.
How do you think about it?
Totally.
Diminished is fun, man. There's not so many. It's really like, there's the derivatives of your melodic minor scale. You got your major scale, and then you got diminished and whole tone. And then after that, I mean, there's not so many other options, if you're thinking of all the modes, and pentatonic, and a couple of variations on that. I would go with the 7th mode melodic minor, which,
oh man,
what's the more common name for that? We call it not super Locrian, but it's also
altered, right? Altered scale.
Yeah, I guess the altered scale.
Yeah. That's a heavy one. That's but that's another mode of, I end up thinking, so we don't need to get too into this stuff, but that's like similar to Lydian dominant. It's like, but just starting at a different note.
Yeah.
But,
so that's the thing. That's the part that's tricky because like when you're practicing this stuff, it's like, okay, your fingers can memorize these notes. Then what is your brain tell, and I find it gets, dangerous if you start thinking that way, because then you're thinking of groups of notes rather than tensions that are resolving somewhere, which is kind of what you want to be doing.
Yeah. I think people a lot of times, and I did this for years, is you don't really connect the notes that you're playing to the root of the chord that you're on, or like what the actual root is. You connect it to what you learned as the most easy one to facilitate those notes, so
play this scale over this chord.
Yeah.
And if you do that, often it's like, well, that just doesn't sound good, because you're not thinking of the relationship of the notes and where they're heading to.
Yeah.
And how they relate to the root, as you said.
We should, I feel like we're in the studio right now.
I know this is like, we're giving everybody, this is like a little taste of the BetterSax studio.
Right.
So we don't always get that nerdy.
No.
But people often ask similar questions, and then we just, we go off. I'm going to go back to gear. Everyone likes to ask me about gear. Please, will you do a video comparing your burn-in mouthpiece with the SYOS Original steady mouthpiece? I did that last week. If you watched the video, you may have missed it, but in my video, I also played the exact same etude on the burn-in with the 7-tip opening and the SYOS steady with the 7-tip opening. So you can hear the exact same thing. You could jump back and forth between the two. And
I didn't, Jay, I watched that video and I didn't hear your burn-in piece. I was waiting for that too, but did I miss it?
You missed it.
Man.
You were probably like skipping ahead.
No way, man. I was I didn't want to miss it. I wanted to see them side by
I
side.
did. Of course, I threw the burn-in in there. I played the 3 alto models, and then I threw the burn-in in. On the Instagram video, though, when I did a mashup, I left the burn-in out just because the video was about SYOS, and I didn't want to, like,
Gotcha.
impose my
right
on the whole thing. But I did put it in there for the sake of comparison, because it's good to be able to hear, what a good hard rubber piece sounds like for a point of reference. And that's what people have heard me playing on for the last 6 months, really. So
yeah,
it's in there, Stefan. It's in the video. Let's see. This is a question I've kind of already answered, but yes, this BetterSax saxophone will be available in Southeast Asia as of next month sometime, and hopefully the burn-in mouthpiece as well soon after that. I will keep you all updated on how this develops. And well, Whipple Dingle Weedlepuffin says, don't forget to give yourself a recess from scale jail. Have some fun. Absolutely. Scale jail.
If there's anybody that knows how to have fun, it's that guy.
It's Whipple Dingle Weedlepuffin.
Yeah.
I'm sure.
Heck yeah.
He busted himself out of scale jail a long time ago. No, but it's true. Scales have their place and they're good, but it's really, it's more about what things sound like. So use the scales for your fingers, but there's a lot more to music than just that, of course.
Yep.
Okay. Oh, here we have Seven says, I have the Cannonball tenor Gerald Albright. I find it great. It has a good tone. I swap it out every time I play and get service once per year. I've been playing for 15 years. Okay. I hope you're not getting it overhauled once a year, Stefan. I don't think, but yeah, get it serviced once a year. If you're swabbing it out, to keep it in adjustment, because leaks are always going to be forming over time, but a well set up horn that gets, checked once a year or twice a year really should be able to play in top condition all the time. And a real overhaul should be once if you're doing all those things and swabbing out your horn, don't get it overhauled for at least 20 years. Like there's absolutely no reason. And if you're swabbing out your horn and removing all the excess moisture from the pads, you don't even need to change any pads. Even like the ones that, like, I play this horn every single day as my main practice horn. I mean, I'm going to do a video about this, showing you everyone up close the pads, what they look like when you just clean them every day. These pads, I'll keep these pads in here for 20 years. Easy. I mean, for longer than I'm alive, all the pads in my saxophones. I'm probably never going to change another pad in my saxophone once I learned how to take an extra couple minutes and clean them and remove the water. Most saxophone players do not do this.
Right. Oh, does the BetterSax come with metal resonators or dome resonators?
Yeah, metal dome resonators.
That's bad. That's bad. I don't know if I'm allowed to swear on this podcast, or live stream.
It'll if you say a swear word, it'll just go off and explode. If you do. Like the whole,
no, that's awesome.
No, that's not true. That's not true.
Yeah.
No, you can swear, but it's a family show, so
yeah.
Okay, fair question. What do you do to not get a stuffy, Eerie sound? Okay, if you're getting a stuffy, Eerie sound, it could be, there's a lot of things that it could be some leaks in your saxophone. Often it's a bad mouthpiece reed sort of combo. So your mouthpiece could be not a good mouthpiece. Your reed could be not the right reed for that mouthpiece. So check. So it could be a lot of gear things, for that stuffy sound. You want to, you could have too hard of a reed. There's a lot of stuff like that. So try different reeds, try different mouthpieces, try somebody else's saxophone to see if it's your saxophone that's just like, and really, not really working well. Experiment with that stuff first.
Yep.
And if your saxophone is working great and you got a great mouthpiece and great reed, then there's something wrong with, the way maybe your embouchure is too tight or, something like that. Okay, so just, for your FYI, that's not Dylan or his son. That is a meme. Say we're just two old dudes. No, that's tough. So.
Yeah, but then Dylan said, like 2 comments down, I think he said he's 18. Yeah, somebody said he was a meme, but they're probably just.
Well, I think maybe his picture is.
Oh, okay, gotcha.
No, man. We give saxophone lessons. We need like internet culture lessons from some of the youngsters. Like, explain what is, like, I look at that, like, Garcia, that is a pretty messed up profile picture. If that's your profile picture, that'd be messed up. Okay. All right. Let's see if I got any more questions. You guys, this has been fun. I'm glad you're here with me, Steve, because sometimes I do these by myself and it's just not as much fun.
Right on, man. Oh, I have to be here.
Yeah, and I appreciate you getting up early, man.
Oh, good, man.
Let's see. Is there a certain strength and brand of reed that you recommend? One that's hand down, no matter what, feels nice playing. No. This is kind of, I would say, so my general answer to this is that and it's not because I live in the south of France, but the best reeds come from the south of France. They're grown in the south of France. It's kind of, and the reason, there's many reasons for this, but the main reason is they've just been doing it for a very long time and kind of, they have family expertise passed down for generations. They really know what they're doing. And, it's a crop, it's a farm product. So think of like wine, it's the same thing, the longer your family has been growing the stuff, the better you get at it. So the reeds you're getting that are made in, maybe China or even Argentina and places like that, some people may disagree with me, but I think the reason they're not as good is just they don't have as much experience. The other reason, though, and I can't really back this up with any science, but it's just environmental. The plant is growing in this region, and the environmental conditions are optimal to get the best results for musical instruments, for reeds. So my general thing is stick with something that comes exclusively from the south of France, and from one of the farms where they've been doing it for many generations, and they're all the same. Like, so Diodario, that's Rico. They just purchased to Rico. So they're using the cane. However, they don't use exclusively cane from the south of France. They are mixing their cane with cane from Argentina. So there you
go. That's some inside information right there.
I just dropped that, for the 79 people still watching. Yeah. Got that. So for me, that's like, and a lot of people say, oh, they used to be so much better when they were Rico Jazz Selects. And then what happened? I don't know. Maybe they should just stick with the cane from one source. But I like the reeds that are made by Rigatti. They make a lot of reeds that don't just say Rigatti on them, though. And those are good. Van Doren, I'm not, I haven't played many Van Dorens in a while, but yeah, so I would just say, stick with the ones from the south of France. And, they don't always say, on the box, they don't always give you the full story in the box. So I know Rigatti and Marca, those reeds and the reeds they make for others, they're all made in the south of France, local, and you can't miss with those. Okay, we got more from Whipple Dingle. Weedle Puffin says diminished gets his vote, so it's good. Thanks for chiming in on that. Okay, this is a great question that a lot of people are confused about. And we're the classic jazz sax players, and let's just apply this to all musicians, saxophone, whatever, trained in music theory, or did they develop simply by playing and listening? And I'll let Steve have a go at this because I've been dominating.
No, I used to think that they weren't for a while. And you want to tell yourself like, no, there's more magic to it than all this theory and numbers and stuff like that. But the more and more I learn about, what's that?
Scale jail.
Yeah, right. You want to tell yourself that scale jail doesn't exist, or that you don't ever have to go there. But the more I learn about every master, they were all very much students of the art and just getting better at knowing the theory and the mechanics of what makes improvisation great. So I don't think any of them were just from playing or listening. I think the closest maybe you could get to that would be like Paul Desmond's. The way that he played is very diatonic a lot of times, but I think Paul Desmond, he has, if you ever listen to his first solo album as a leader, he has all these lush arrangements for vocals. It's like vocal harmonies backing up alto sax. And it's some really, really beautiful stuff. And I know that he did those arrangements, and there's no way that you could write those things without knowing a lot about jazz theory and information and like all those things. So like, short answer, did they develop simply by playing and listening? Yes, they did. That was part of their development, but they were all trained in music theory, I think.
Yeah, I mean, I think that's kind of what jazz is. It is a mixture of the complexities possible in music and harmony with a cultural sound that is based on just the feeling and soul and of the human emotion, but that the thing that really makes it jazz is you're combining those two things, but you can't really have it one without the other. You need both.
Yeah.
So let's see. Any other questions? Wow, you guys are putting lots of questions today. Somebody's saying it's a saxophone thing. Trying to untrain myself from using the side B flat. Initially picked it up from playing clarinet, self-tone, and sax, and it's impossible. It's not impossible. It's not. It's not because everybody learns one at first, right? I mean, rarely do you have a teacher that's like, okay, you learn one and you start with that. And then at some point when you get advanced enough, you have a teacher who says, okay, now you need to kind of start using both because it'll help you get around the instrument better. And then you spend like a couple days like practicing it. And then it's like, oh, and then you just, when you play your scales and any of your technique exercise, just make sure you're using the right one, and it won't take you very long. That's the way I look at it.
Yeah, it took me a while to unlearn the side B flat thing, but I'm so glad that I did. And now I just try and if you sit down and try and use Bis for everything, it's not going to take you that long to do it. Like every time you use side B flat, just don't use it. And that even means like rolling on to Bis just for a little while. Just try to do it. You'll forget about side B flat pretty quickly just because it's so much easier.
And that's a good, and that would be a good kind of method. Like use Bis for everything, and then you'll notice like Bis is great, is much better for everything except like this situation here, and that's where you use side B flat.
Mm-hmm.
And that's the rule. Use Bis for everything except for the few exceptional circumstances where side B flat is better.
Yeah.
Kirk's saying, I bought a Yanni alto and recently a tenor. I can't help myself. I want a BetterSax alto too. I imagine that its spec is similar to a Yanagisawa/Kahn. Well, if you've got a Yanni alto, you don't need a BetterSax alto. That's another thing. I wanted a Selmer Supreme the other day just because I saw it. I want that. There is some similarities for sure. The BetterSax alto and the Yanagisawa. Not so much with the con, except well, there is in that it has the poster body construction. So there is a similarity to a vintage con in that way. Okay. Dan saying, I've got a BetterSax alto coming. Congratulations, Dan. What kind of mouthpiece does it come with? Okay, so these, the BetterSax altos that we have right now come with a basic student mouthpiece, which is not great. I will tell you right now. It's not. So if you've got another mouthpiece, you're probably going to want to use that one. It's fine if you're just starting out and you can play and get going. Okay, but it's not going to be better than something else you probably have. But that's part of that cost of the instrument. Is like we didn't, we left it up to people that kind of upgrade their mouthpiece. However, the next iteration of the BetterSax, which is coming soon, we're already on the next version of the BetterSax, is coming with quite a good. It's still a student mouthpiece. It's still a basic student mouthpiece, but it's a pretty good one that you could, that was one of the things we improved for the second generation. So if you see any questions you want me to hit, otherwise we'll probably.
I had a friend from, well, not a friend. I didn't work with this guy, but he recognized me from cruise ships, which I thought was kind of funny.
Oh,
I used to see him on the roster. This guy, Patrick Shaw.
Is it up high or down low?
It's kind of in the middle. I don't know.
Oh man,
you might be able to find it.
Shout out to Patrick Shaw.
If you're still there, yeah. What's up, Patrick? Yeah, I worked on Carnival. We were on it. Different ships at the same time.
Okay. Well, anyway, it's been an hour. That's enough. No live stream should be longer than an hour. So we'll call it. I think that should just be a hard rule.
It's a good rule, man.
And we're done.
Right.
So I do appreciate everyone coming and just being there and all the comments and listening to us ramble about sax stuff. You gotta be sax nerd for life. You guys are you're sax nerds. You're in the sax nerd club. Sax nerd power. If you're still here at the live stream after an hour, you are an official sax nerd.
Yeah, man. Sax nerds unite.
So thanks everyone for being here. Yeah, we're going to give away some more stuff. BetterSax altos are available. Get yours now before we run out. Although we should be catching up with the stock soon, and hopefully we'll be able to have one for everybody. And the book and course, Essential Jazz Repertoire, Volume 1, Intermediate Etudes, with some really cool etudes that are all based on standards and go along with the excellent backing tracks from BetterSax.com, is available on BetterSax.com. And I put a link up in the chat for the coupon code. And just for anybody who's like watching now, where is it? Here it is. I'm going to share that link with you now one more time, just in case.
Dylan said, "Thank you for making fun of me." I hope you don't think we were making fun of you, Dylan. We appreciate the questions and you being here and hanging out with us. We just weren't sure about the picture. We were trying to figure out the whole situation. But love that you're a saxophone player that has been playing for 9 years, and at this rate, it sounds like you're going to be playing for a lot longer. So thanks for asking questions.
Yeah. All right. I put the link in there and we're going to call it. So thanks, Steve, for joining me.
Yeah.
And thanks, everybody.
Thanks for having me.
And there's a new YouTube video coming out in a couple hours. So check it out.
Nice.
Later.